Scaling an e-commerce brand is relatively easy. You could just spend infinite amount of money on ads, and as a result, you would get more customers and more revenue, which means your store would grow. The hard part is growing your brand and scaling it profitably. But that's why I'm going to show you in this video the exact strategy that we are using for multiple 7 and 8-figure brands to get them past the 8-figure mark, and we're doing it profitably. So we're going to learn the exact strategies. I'm going to show you everything we're doing for them. This is going to be more of a high level video, which is once again just going to teach you, everything about scaling your brand at a profit. Now, very important thing is that this is for established brands only. So if you're not an established brand, then probably it won't be helpful for you. And like you can still watch the video, but my point is that if you clicked on this video and if you came here to learn, how to find the winning product, to start your dropshipping store or your brand in general, I'm sorry, you're in the wrong place and I don't have anything to do. I'm fine with dropshipping and dropshippers, like nothing wrong about it. It's just I'm not promoting it. I'm not teaching you how to do it. I'm going to show you how to take your established brand doing 6 to 7 figures per year and scale it to 8 figures and pass that in yearly revenue. So just stick to this video if that's you. If not, then you can still watch it, but you won't probably learn a lot. This video will be also explaining my experience working with established e-com brands and scaling them past 8 figures. Just in the last year alone, we've made our clients over $50 million in extra sales, all from emails. So, it's actually proven to work, what I'm about to show you. And all of them already have a great product, manufacturer, and proven traffic of source. Or source of traffic, which is very important for getting past 8 figures. If you don't have any of that, then probably you need to go to the drawing board, have the right product, the right manufacturer, which is making sure you have quite high quality products and decent cost of goods. All of this stuff, you should already have it in place. Now let's get to the meritum. So when you think about it, growing your e-com store is pretty simple. As I said at the beginning, you just need to get more customers and that's it. Maybe it's a little bit too simplified, but in reality, your growth most likely depends on ads. So in order for you to be profitable, you need to do 2 things. To grow profitably, you need to do 2 things. First one is spending more ads and obviously spending it profitably. And you would do it by the second thing, which is decreasing your customer acquisition cost. Obviously, there's an alternative, which could be just you expanding your offer and acquiring customers outside of your target audience so that you have a bigger total addressable market. But most likely, if you already got to 6 or 7 figures per year or per month, your total addressable market is big enough that you can scale even further. So you should just focus on improving the 2 of the above. So how to spend more on ads? When you see all of this, you probably are thinking about optimizing your ad account, testing new creatives, UGC, maybe new static images, or you're maybe thinking on about how to test new offers on your landing page. And all of these points are valid and it's fine if you're thinking about them or actually improving them. It's actually great if you do. But I want to show you how I use email marketing to achieve all of the above and how I used it to scale brands past 8-figure mark. And I'm going to talk about email specifically because in my opinion, this channel is underutilized by a lot of brands. A lot of them are doing it wrong, but it can have the highest ROI out of all of these I mentioned. So it can have higher ROI than testing new creatives, running ads or testing your landing page. I'll break it down into 3 main areas that will help you become more profitable on each order. So if you're not currently first order profitable, these strategies in this video will help you change that and actually be profitable or get closer to profitability. I'm also going to show you how to recover lost prospects. So anyone who's gonna drop off in your funnel, whether it's a product page, checkout, homepage, whatever that might be. I'm also going to show you how to decrease your customer acquisition cost, which is one of the goals of this video, just to show you how to actually decrease your CAC. So that's very important, decrease your CAC. And then I'm also going to show you how to boost your LTV and improve cash flow, because let's be honest, if you're an e-com brand, cash flow is an issue. You have to pay for ads, you have to, probably have payroll if you're at a decent size, and you probably need to plan inventory and manage it and buy it upfront. So that, cash flow is a real issue, and we know this for a fact. So I'm going to show you how to improve it. So the first part of the whole strategy is list growth, because as we're going to achieve all of the things I previously mentioned with emails, you need an email list. That's pretty much self-explanatory. The best and most efficient way to grow it is by having a sign-up form, which is just a pop-up, okay? This is the exact setup that you should be using. This is the exact setup that we always set up for our clients, because this is what we start with. Of course, further down the line, you will be optimizing all of these, all of the, like every single part of the setup. But for now, just start with this, what I'm going to show you right now. So the offer is going to be a percentage of, or dollar amount of, or gift with purchase. Then you're gonna have device. So we're gonna have one desktop, one pop-up for mobile, one for desktop, and that's gonna be enough. You want to separate them because of the trigger, which for desktop you're gonna use exit intent only to make sure you're not interrupting the customer journey. And for mobile, I suggest using either 60% scroll or 15 seconds on on the website. And this is obviously a topic that I could record another separate video about, but we've used to have pop-ups trigger by after like 6 seconds or 8 seconds. But usually what we would see was happening is that the overall site-wide conversion rate would go down for multiple reasons. People getting distracted in the process of buying, people leaving their email address and filling out the form, but then going to their inbox and clicking on something else. Even if they opened or clicked our email, they got distracted from buying process, which is not a good thing. And then like the third reason is that a lot of people would just fill it out because they were like annoyed. Let's say, you have a very cheesy pop-up, which is hard to close, you're hiding buttons and so on. People have to fill it out in order to like move forward and like continue shopping. But if you have a pop-up like that, it will just annoy them. So we found that 15 seconds is, long enough for them to land on the product page, read what your product is about and like get familiar. But also when you show the offer, it's actually gonna be somewhat relevant. One more important thing is that if you have some kind of heat map or stuff like that, use this for your time delay trigger and make it longer or shorter based on your needs. This is just what I would suggest you start with. Then we're going to have design, which is going to be plain color background with simple copy, and you want to make sure that the offer stands out and is clear what the offer is, okay? And for type of the pop-up, you would use full screen. These are currently working the best. They're working better than your regular partial pop-up. These do absolutely tremendously well. If you use the setup above, you should be able to get your submission rate at a 5 to 8% level. Now, a lot of people will say like, hey, if you have a pop-up converting at 5%, you're converting 5% of your total traffic. And I used to say this as well, but that's not true. The truth is that you're converting 5 to 8% of people who see the pop-up, okay? So if someone was on the website for 10 seconds on mobile device, they wouldn't see the pop-up, okay, if they scrolled less than 60% of the page. If someone would scroll 20%, but they've been active, 5 seconds, they also wouldn't get the pop-up, so they wouldn't see this. That's why, if someone says that your pop-up is gonna convert 5% of your total traffic, not entirely true. I mean, if the pop-up is converting at like 10 or 15%, and you know that, okay, like let's say 90% of the traffic, gets to see the pop-up and you convert 10% of that, then yes, we're gonna convert a big chunk of your total traffic. But just something to keep in mind when doing all of this, just so you understand the dynamics behind the pop-up. And now this is going to be still a huge amount of people, like very substantial amount, and you can be sure that they will be somewhat interested in your product. It's because they either have scrolled 60% for your product page, or they were active on the product page for at least 15 seconds, okay? So we are not gonna get anyone who's low quality, people who are just clicking on ads and then, going back to Facebook or Instagram. You're not going to get this type of people on your email list. And that's very important because you will not have low quality profiles, which you would need to pay for. And then they would do like ever buy from you, which doesn't make sense to really, have them on your list if they're not interested in the product. And I know a lot of people will say, the bigger the list, the better. And yes, of course, if you have more emails, it's always better than less emails. But it's also important to have, more emails from people who are actually interested in what you're selling and there's at least somewhat likely to buy. So that would be about the list growth. Now let's cover flows, because this is the second big part of the whole strategy. Now, brands or even marketers often look at them as just emails that make sales. And I mean, that's entirely true, like nothing wrong with that. But I personally like to look at them as a tool to achieve all of the goals above, which is, decreasing the customer acquisition cost, improving your LTV, AOV, all of this good stuff, okay? Just to give you some examples. I mentioned recovering lost prospects. Well, by recovering them, you can have flow like abandoned site, browse, cart, and checkout. You need to have all of these to recover prospects from every single stage of the funnel that you have. So from product page to from home page to product page to cart page to checkout, okay? All of these have to be optimized. And of course, collection page too. Then decrease your customer acquisition cost. You would do this by having all of the flows above, so all of the abandonment flows, plus the welcome flow, which is gonna be the driver of the majority of your revenue. It's gonna be responsible for the majority of the sales coming from the flows. You will also become more profitable on each order by having post-purchase upsell emails, okay? Then you're also gonna boost your LTV and improve cash flow by having flows like replenishment, win back, or 1-year anniversary. All of these flows are the ones that you should have set up in your account. If you don't have any of these, make sure you change it and set them up actually, because it's just gonna help you make more money. Every one of these should have a different goal, solve different objections, and promote different offers based on what you're trying to accomplish, okay? So you're gonna use different messaging in the welcome flow, different messaging in the win-back flow. You might also use different offers, and so on and so on. Now, if you're wondering what kind of content you should use, well, generally speaking, your pre-purchase flows should focus on turning prospects into buyers by solving their objections, which could be, do I trust this brand? Does this work for others? Will it work for me? What if it doesn't work? Which is usually where you would like to, display your return policy or refund policy and guarantees. It's too expensive, so pricing objection, or other brands sell the same product or solution, but it's cheaper or better. All of these are valid, and you need to address all of them not at once. You should have like separate emails for each. But if your current flows, don't perform at all, you should focus on answering the questions above, and I mean pre-purchase flows specifically, because that will help you just make more sales from your flows, okay? Just improve the messaging, the content, and that will help for sure. Now it's time for the post-purchase flows content. So we have, we have multiple objections that we want to achieve with this as well. These people will also have objections, but the primary goals that you should want to achieve with these flows would be teaching customers how to use the product correctly. And I know this is weird, because whenever I mention it, a lot of brands will say like, yeah, but they know how to, it's a supplement, just take it. But the truth is that you still want to learn them, I want to educate them, like, okay, you need to take it every single morning with food or on empty stomach, whatever is better for the absorption of the supplement. You also want to tell them like how long they should be taking it for to see the results, because all of this is important. Like if the supplement doesn't work for them, they're not gonna come back and buy from you. Like it's just as simple as that. And you might think like, okay, but I should be selling in this flow, and not really, because if the product works for them and solves their problem and improves their life, they all come back on their own. Like it's as simple as that. If I buy something, if I buy a sleep supplement and it helps me fall asleep or sleep better and wake up refreshed, I don't need a set of emails reminding me to buy this supplement. I'm gonna remember on my own because it helps me improve my life. That's why it's so important to show people, all of the instructions, and whether it's supplements, electronics, or even jewelry, how to care for jewelry so it doesn't tarnish. It's also super, super important to teach people, your customers, all of that stuff. Then you can obviously increase your brand and LTV by using flows mentioned before, which is cross-sell, win-back, first purchase anniversary. And then you want to improve your cash flow relatively quickly, within 30 to 60 days after the first purchase. And you would do this by sending flows or emails in the replenishment and win-back flows. And even though these people already bought from you, they still have objections, and they will have them. This could be anything like, does this make enough difference for me to keep buying it? Okay, that's why you want to teach them how to use it correctly, so it actually makes a real difference in their life. What if competitors or other brands have the same product, but these are just cheaper options that will give me the same outcome? This is where you would communicate, why you are better. So promote your USP, even comparison tables. Still, like when someone is looking for a solution to their problem and they find this solution and it works, they will, they tend to find or like seek other brands with the same solution, with the same product. And that's why you need to keep reminding them why you are better and why they should keep buying from you, because they already bought from you, okay? Then the other objection is, it didn't work for me with supplements. So that's why I said before, you need to communicate that, sometimes it takes more than 30 days to see the results, because, even though you're taking them daily, your body might not absorb all of this, and they might not work right away. So you might need more time. That's why awareness and education is still so important at this stage of the funnel. And then the last thing is, do I need more of it? With supplements, of course you do. Of course you do. But let's say, we're selling mouth tape and you're selling 1 month supplies, And someone would think, okay, I have 1 month supply, but maybe I'm not gonna take it every single night, maybe just the other night, or like 3 times a week, or maybe only during the weekend. So you would communicate like, okay, you need to use this daily, so you need more of it, okay? And again, or like another example for do I need more of it? Let's say you're selling air purifiers or humidifiers, and you have multiple kits, like 3, let's say, and like each one has a separate room. Then you would use an angle like, hey, if you have more than 1 kid, or even if you have a kid, and you have your own bedroom, you need 1 purifier or humidifier per bedroom to make sure that all of your rooms are humidified and like the air is clean and stuff like that. And again, all of these objections are completely valid. And instead of thinking like, why do they have them, or like complaining, you should just answer them and solve them with your post-purchase flows. These should also build your loyal fans that again, like just are a huge fans of your brand because of what you do, the quality of the products you have, your mission and statement, all of this stuff. But they also should keep reminding customers about the benefits of the product, why they bought it in the first place, and why your solution is superior to your competition. This is the same thing once again, so apologies. And then we have campaigns. So the truth is that with the campaigns, you can accomplish all of the the same goals that flows accomplish. You just need to select the right segment, create the email, hit send, and that's it. But in reality, you need to think about each campaign and determine if it's meant to acquire customers or retain them. These are separate goals. That's why you need to look at them and think like, okay, what do I want to achieve with this specific campaign? Then you want to select an angle that would work well and push products or offers that will most likely get you the highest revenue per recipient, or actually revenue per campaign, which I'm going to explain right now as well. So there's going to be acquisition campaigns, and like it's as simple as that. The acquisition campaigns will target non-buyers. If your deliverability is good, you can go broader and maybe even target all of your non-buyers, so everyone on the list who has never bought from you. But if your deliverability is not that good, you won't target engaged non-buyers. And if you don't know what this segment is, I have another separate video with exact definitions about all of these segments, so I'm not gonna bore you right now. But to keep it short, engaged non-buyers are people who have opened or clicked your email in the last X amount of days, so 30, 60, 90, but have never bought from you, okay? Then for angles, you would want to target the same objections as is in your pre-purchase flows. So some example of these campaigns will be Mythbuster. So, why there's like a common myth about the product or solution you just busted. Advertorial style emails, listicle, so 3 reasons why you need X, or sometimes even why you shouldn't buy X, which is going to be another angle. Social proofs or reviews and testimonials. Guarantees, plus you can resend the welcome code because they haven't used it anyways. FAQs answered, so like you have FAQs for a reason. People ask about this stuff, so just answer them in your email. Talk about your USP, compare yourself to competitors. It's very important. Do a comparison table. You've probably seen these multiple times, but your brand and others, and then like you have different features or benefits and which product accomplishes which is very important. And then sales or promotions are also great way to make more sales and acquire more customers. Then we come to retention campaigns. So with retention campaigns, the goal is simple: to make your customers buy from you again or refer you to someone. Just like with acquisition campaigns, you could use these angles from the flows for pretty much all of these. But here are some of the angles that you could use. So refer program promo, which is like a digital word of mouth. They refer someone, via email. They send them a link. They get the reward, like a gift card or a discount. The person they're referring to is also getting something in exchange, but you make a sale and acquire customers at a lower cost than your customer acquisition cost on, let's say, Facebook ads. Okay, the loyalty program promo, cross-sell, once again, upselling, cross-selling different stuff. If you have subscriptions available, promote them as well. Push new arrivals, because these are great for existing customers, plus back-end stock campaigns, they also tend to do very, very well. If you have any site-wide sale or a deal, you still want to promote it. Mythbusters, same thing. Advertorials, listicles, and then USPs plus you versus others. Once again, one of the big reasons we're seeing a lot of people are not coming back is they're looking for cheaper alternatives, or for just some other brands offering the same solution, because maybe there was like one thing they didn't like. That's why you still need to be comparing yourself and showing why you are better and superior to your competitors. Now, you might have noticed that there will be overlap between these campaigns. So, retention campaigns have Mythbuster, advertorial sales, listicles, USPs, and so on. Acquisition campaigns have all of these as well. So there will be overlap, and yes, the messaging should be different, but we are trying to maximize our revenue per campaign. So even if your revenue per recipient might go down a little bit, it's still better to, let's say, target both of these groups in the same campaign and get more revenue for this campaign in total. Let's say you were only to target buyers and the campaign would bring in 3K in sales, right? Then your revenue would be decent. And let's say it was 300 or like 3,000 people, just for easier math, it would be $1 revenue per recipient. But then let's say you also added in the non-buyer segment, which was let's say 3,000 people as well, but instead of bringing in 3K, they brought in only 2K. Okay, so in total you have sent your campaign to 6K people and you've made 5K in sales. So yes, the revenue per recipient is lower than in the initial example, so it's less than $1, but your total revenue is 2K more, which is what we're trying to optimize for, okay? And this is also why in most cases you should target your regular engaged segment, which is both buyers and non-buyers, 2 to 3 times a week. You still want to separate them in the campaign actual, so you have the audience breakdown and can see what segment generated how many sales. But yeah, you still want to target them 2 to 3 times a week, and then each target separately, so either buyers or non-buyers 1 to 2 times a week. That will give you a good mix of high revenue campaigns, but also high revenue per recipient campaigns that are a bit more targeted towards each audience and different goals that these campaigns are trying to achieve. As a bonus, here are some of the extra tips. So these are the apps or tools that we're using for our brands as well, or our clients, which we see work well. So direct mail, using an app like Postpilot, it also is a great way to retain customers or actually win them back. You can also add a SMS strategy. I recommend using either Klaviyo or OneText for this. If you're having an issue with OneText, you can let me know in the comments or DM me on Twitter or somewhere else. I can help you, but both of these are great. If your AOV is low, just create a bundle made of your best sellers. And I know this sounds super simple, but it works. So if you haven't tried it yet, make sure you do it. You can also increase your product price, but increase the perceived value simultaneously. So there are some brands doing it great, where you pretty much add digital products to the offer and some low cost of goods bonuses just to justify the price. Let's say you're selling, a protein supplement or protein in general, and it costs $30. What you could do is you could add a shaker, which probably cost of goods is super low. You could add an app maybe with digital workouts, or in general, maybe, you could add a PDF about workouts and, how to create your own diet, how to calculate macro and so on. And you could up the price to $35, where the cost of creating digital product is technically free. The cost of goods to create the shaker is probably below, $5. So even if let's say the cost of goods of the shaker is $1 and you up the price for $5, you're still profiting $4 on the order and on the change of the price, because you increased the perceived value. And then you're also standing out from the competitors and so on and so on. So creating the offer is very, very important when it comes to profitably scaling your brand as well. Then you also want to make sure that you have a post-purchase upsell app like one-click upsell or after-sell, super important for immediate AOV boost. Then you also want to try, or at least consider trying out TapCart, which is like a mobile app. Essentially, it's a Shopify app which you download, and they're helping you set up the mobile app that people can download in the App Store or Google Play Store. And then you can also send them push notifications, which is cheaper than SMS essentially. And then don't be afraid to offer a discount to existing customers who are about to churn. A lot of brands, they're afraid we don't want to send them discounts, it's gonna hurt our profit. But even if you give 10 or 20% discount, you will still make a profit. Let's say you're selling, $100 AOV item, someone buys it for $80, and you still make profit even $20 or $30 instead of 40 or 50. It's still $20 profit compared to zero. So, that's just better. That's what I'm saying. And yeah, that would be it for this video. Now, as I mentioned before, your welcome flow is the most important flow in the whole strategy. It will bring in the most revenue and it's probably gonna have the biggest impact on your customer acquisition cost. So if you want to get the proven 8-figure welcome flow structure that we are currently using for 7 and 8-figure brands, there's gonna be a link below this video and in the pinned comment. It's gonna be completely free, 56 pages with the proven flow structure explaining everything we're doing in this flow, why we're doing it. Plus, you're also gonna see the exact email examples that we are using so we can take an inspiration from them. That would be it for this video. If you want to get it, once again, it's entirely free. Click on the link below description. But other than that, watch my next video, which is going to be recommended by YouTube. Cheers!